Ever since we've been running the channel, I've been driving a black Tesla Model S. It's a 2016 model and it was bought for a very specific reason which suited me absolutely perfect at the time. Recently though, I've been filmed in a number of cars. I've been filmed in a Dacia Spring, I've been filmed in a Renault 5 and I've been filmed in a white Tesla Model 3. So I just like to take this opportunity to bring you up to date as to what's happening, what's happened to the black Tesla Model S. That one's called Black Knight. This one, by the way, white satin. Older viewers will know the relevance of these. Anyway, so I thought I'd bring you up to date with what's happening. So this all dates back to, I said my black Tesla Model S was absolutely perfect for me at the time. Because at the time I was effectively a rep on the road. I would drive out to places, I would spend the day doing calls in an area and then drive back. And looking at a car, I very nearly got a brand new Model 3 at the time. This was in 2020. Very nearly got a Tesla Model 3, but I found there was a used Tesla Model S, 4 years old. And Tesla very kindly threw in an additional 4 years of a manufacturer's warranty on a used car. And the Model S suited me so much better for that sort of driving. Longer distance driving, so I had a bigger range, had the air suspension, a lot more room, a lot more comfort, and a lot more gadgets than a basic Model 3 at the time. So I had gone in to buy a Tesla Model 3, but I came out with a Tesla Model S used one. And it did me absolutely fine. But the key here was it suited me at the time. I've since stopped doing that job. I'm well past retirement age and I thought I was going to have a nice easy retirement, but I started up the channel, which has taken off like I just wouldn't believe, and it's now virtually full-time for me. Fantastic, really enjoy doing it, love the research, love everything about it, gets me out and about, out from under the wife's feet, so it absolutely suits me fine. But I no longer do that sort of mileage anymore, which I was doing on a regular basis. I would regularly drive 100, 150, 200 mile in a day. I would regularly, probably once a week, once a fortnight, stay away. I'd drive down to Essex or Devon or up to Newcastle, and I would do a day's work, stay overnight, do a second day's work, and then come back. But when I gave that up, I packed that in. It was no longer necessary for me. My motoring needs changed. I no longer needed a massive big car. And one of the disadvantages of the Model S is it's a huge car and my wife would not drive it. It was too big, too many gimmicks, too many things on it. And so it was not that relevant anymore to have that sort of car. It was also coming up to 10 years old, and just for me, I was out of all the warranties, and that in retirement, or semi-retirement as it is always a financial thought in the back of your mind. What happens if? So it was just getting to the point where I was thinking about changing it. But my trigger came, I decided I needed a newer car and a smaller car. So I had a look, and I'm a Tesla dedicated fan. I love the structure, love the background, love everything, the integrated nature of it. And so for me, I probably may never go away from Tesla. It's just right for me. So I set my sights on a Tesla Model 3, went on the Tesla website, and there's loads of them there. They all come off leases. This one was just coming off a 4-year lease. And there are some fantastic cars on there at a really fantastic price. So I went through them all, and the nearest I found on the snags with Tesla is you go to where the car is, and the nearest one I found was actually in Wolverhampton. It's just a train ride down for about an hour. Picked this one up, brought it back. So what I chose was the long range model. Now, I am one who says that long range is not everything, but it was interesting for me to see the comparison between the Model S, which was effectively a long range 85 kilowatt hour battery, and a Model 3 long range. But the long range also offered a number of advantages. A lot of people don't realise the basic Tesla Model 3 has so much cut back things like the stereo system. This is a much superior one. Heated seats, front and rear, heated steering wheel. There's a lot of things underneath that you don't really see, but it makes it a better car. Also, it's a much faster charging speed. Basic Model 3 is about 175 kilowatts maximum speed. These run out at 250 maximum speed. So there's a lot going on. So when you're choosing a car, you need to look into all of these things and choose your model carefully. So in my case, I chose this online, and all that happened was I've leased it. So I applied for the lease, everything was approved, got a phone call from Tesla the next day, and they said, yeah, your car's ready Saturday. Wow. And at this time, I still had Black Knight, the Tesla Model S. So I arranged to go and fetch it. I couldn't do it on Saturday, I arranged to go and fetch it on the Monday. But just before then, just before the weekend, I was out in Black Knight and I had a bump. Now, it's not I wouldn't call it a crash. The airbags didn't go off. Nobody was injured. It was a very low speed one, probably less than 5 miles an hour. No, probably less than 10, because there was a bit of a bump, but not a huge amount of visible damage. But on the Tesla, particularly Model S, there's a lot of wiring, sensors and gadgets in the front, and I hit the front quarter, and it did a lot of internal damage. There were wires hanging out, there were sensors hanging out, the bit of the structured push back was pressed against the wheel. Quite drivable, but not one you can just ignore. So rang up the insurance company, and I said, you know, I've had a bump. And they said, okay, we'll come fetch it. So they came and fetched it, put it on the low loader. But part of the insurance policy I have, I get an automatic guaranteed hire car. There's a separate story about that. I'm not going to go into that. But what they offered me, the only EV they had on offer was a Renault 5. Brand new Renault 5. It's a 52 kilowatt hour model. So that arrived as a courtesy car. My black one went off and I was down to one car. But then 2 days later, I went down and fetched this. So all of a sudden, I had two cars. My black one was off at the workshop, being repaired. So I now had a Renault 5 courtesy car, and I had this one, which was my new car. So this is my permanent car now, and it will stay that way for the duration of the lease. Why have I leased? Again, it's all down to horses for courses. At some point, I am going to properly retire. And at that point, my wife has got a car, I've got a car, we will go down to one car. We just won't need two cars. And so at that point, that's a natural turning point for us. My wife will retire, I'll retire properly, and we'd be down to just one car. I'm also hoping, as a Tesla fan, that Tesla Model 2 will be out, or a robo-cab, robo-taxi will be out that we'll be able to buy, because at that point I'll be getting quite old, and if I can find a Tesla or any car with full self-driving, proper full self-driving, as an old retired geezer, I can sit in it and say, take me to Tesco's, I want to go shopping. And even if my eyesight's gone, my brain's gone and everything's gone, the car will be able to drive me. So that's the planning. In 3 years' time, I'm looking for my final car, which will take me right the way through. So that's where we are. Because this is the channel's grown and other things, I decided to take the plunge, and we've got a personalised number plate on it. For those of you who haven't realised the consequences of this, Dave takes it on EVs. I thought that was really good. I did the Dave takes it on. Jonas came up with the EVs, put it together, bought the number plate, something like 250 quid, the whole lot all in. That's it. So it's a really, really simple process. They send you out a form which authorises you to use that number. It takes about a week to arrive. It comes through the post, and then you just go down to the number plate, the car accessory shop, they'll make you up a number plate. I went to Halfords, and then you just go online, swap the two over on the DVLA site, and then put your new number plates on. As simple as that. Taking the old ones off, put the new ones on is a 5-minute job. It's really simple. So we've now got a personalised number plate. So what have I noticed with this? Going to do a full review of this because the change is really quite dramatic. The Black Knight, that one is 10 years old now. It was a 2015, it's coming up 11. It was a 2015 car made in Fremont, California, shipped over here. It arrived in the UK early 2016. So it's a 2016 registered car, but 2015 manufactured in California. This one's a December 2021, so this is just 4 years old. So this has got the remainder of the 8-year battery warranty with it. The manufacturer's warranty runs out. It's probably just run out, I think it's last week. But with a used car from Tesla, you get a 1 year full manufacturer's warranty on absolutely everything. So I've got a full 1 year warranty to pick up any niggles or bits and pieces. But I have to say, this one, I was amazed when I picked it up. It is so close to new inside and outside. No little dings, no little dents in it, no scratches on the dash, no warping of the seats. It is effectively a new car in appearance, and it's got 40,000 miles on it. Which is pretty much bang on average for a 4-year-old car. So I've got it for 3 years, so I'll take it up to higher mileage. And then this one, I've got an option obviously at the end of this one. I can keep it, pay the residual fee, or I can just hand it back or use it as part deposit. So I've got a number of options. So what have I found? It's very much better. It's very much more in line with what I want as I get older. Believe it or not, it's actually slightly easier to get in and out of than the Model S. Model S, yeah, really low car. Immediate impression, the suspension is very much harder. I've got air suspension on the Model S. This one's got conventional suspension. However, it's not a big issue. It's a noticeable difference, but it's not a big issue. Second one is noise. Tesla Model S got all sorts like double glazed windows and soundproofing and everything because it's a top of the range model. This one is very much noisier. It is absolutely silent compared to petrol cars, but it is noticeably noisier than the Black Knight. So there are just two things I noticed. Driving style, it's very much nicer to use. It's a very much better car. I sit in it, I fit in it nicely. It's a smaller car, feels a lot nippier. It is a little bit faster. So it's very much more in tune with what I want out of my driving style, driving conditions at the moment. The technology, though, is a world apart. The Model S, it's a brilliant car, and even though it's 10 years old, I'm still getting over-the-air updates from it. It's amazing the support Tesla gives to the older cars. It has had a few updates over the years. I had the chip in it, which is the SIM card for all the sat-nav and everything, the screen. That was upgraded from a 3G to a 4G a while ago. It's a free upgrade. I also had the CCS2 adapter conversion done on it, so I could use that one at CCS2 chargers. Because many people don't know, but the Tesla Model S and the Model X do not have CCS2. They have a Tesla proprietary. In America, it's called the NAS. Over here, it looks like a Type 2. And when you plug it in, if you plug in a DC charger, it will detect it's DC and use it. If you plug in an AC charger, it detects it's an AC charger and it will charge your AC. So it's a multi-purpose plug. But it did exclude me from using CCS2 chargers if I'm on holiday or on a road trip, so had that conversion done. Other than that, time with the car was really trouble-free. Lots of niggles. For example, the door handle failed after about 8 years. Within warranty, though, at that time. That was a fantastic job. And again, this is the support. I was going on holiday the day after. The handle went. I wasn't taking the car. We were getting a taxi to the airport. So I booked it in through Tesla. They confirmed I didn't need to be there. So I told them they know my home address. The car would be at the home address. And I went off on holiday for 10 days, came back, and it was all done. It's so simple to get your servicing done. Other than that, it was quite trouble-free. I had a suspension bush go on it, so I had that replaced. But most of the things were done under warranty, so I never actually ended up paying for them. So this one, really happy with my choice. everything so far is good. I'm going to be doing a proper review, looking at all the major differences, but one of the things I've just had through is the Christmas package. This is the over-the-air update. And now when I'm driving along, I normally have my car showing on the display, which is no longer in front of me like it was on the Model S. It's the central display. And that shows a Model 3 car driving along and shows the other cars as traffic as cars and lorries going by. But the Christmas update now means my car now is a sleigh, a red and white sleigh. It's being driven by a Santa Claus who's a robo, what do they call it? The Optimus robot in Santa Claus and with a bag of goodies. And all the cars going by are reindeers, and all the people on the pedestrians on the pavement, they're now elves. It's hilarious to see. No practical use whatsoever, but it's fantastic that that sort of thought goes into these cars. Just a freebie. It didn't come with the car, it came later. And that's one of the things that you find with Tesla, and why I stick with them, is they look after you. And I've had, I think it's 4 upgrades in the month I've had this one. Some of them just trivial ones, one the Christmas one, but others are the safety ones, security ones, or general, it just says general improvements. So they really look after their cars and their customers. Also just got a reminder through that I've got an option. If I want to make this even faster, I can do a performance upgrade on it. Again, over the air update. If I say yes, I pay the fee. They then release whatever extra power's in there, and all of a sudden the car's a lot faster than it used to be. So that's where we are. So stand by. You're going to be watching out. We'll be releasing a full review of this, tackling everything. And my conversion from, I had a driver's screen on the Model S and the main screen. This one has just got the main screen in the middle. And so I don't have the driver's bit anymore. And it'll cover that conversion as well. I've still got the Renault 5, so you will occasionally see me in that. And I'm also doing a long-term review of a Dacia Spring, the most basic model, and it's really chalk and cheese with this in technology at one end and the Dacia Spring at the other. And Dacia Spring has amazed me, is far more sophisticated and technologically advanced than I gave it credit for. But there'll be a review on that one as well. So if you like to subscribe, you'll be able to see when we release those videos. If you'd like to support the channel, have a look at our memberships. If you want to get early advance viewing of our videos so you can see them before anyone else, consider joining as a YouTube member that has that facility. If on the other hand, you want to have meetups, YouTube membership actually deters you from doing that. They don't think that's the right thing to do. Patreon, on the other hand, welcomes it. So we have regular meetups with Patreon members where we will just advertise in advance where we're going to be filming, and anyone who wants to can turn up. If no one turns up, we just film anyhow. If 3 or 4 people turn up, we'll sit round and have a cup of coffee and a chat. Anyway, that's it for now. So thanks very much for watching. I'm Dave.